Alright, let's take a look at the next thing. Can't continue it, it's done. View catalog. So now I've got some level 2 stuff. But what if I don't want to do level 2 stuff? Q and R are grayed out at the moment, so I'm guessing it's still doing like the tutorial-esque sort of thing, so I have to. Here's a level 2. So it shows the various hazards that are in play, looks like. Different resource mixes as well. Total value 1.7 mil. Seems good. I don't know what the resources things actually are, so I don't know how to interpret them, but... Processor scans and analyzes valuable alloys and composite materials before sorting and packing them for transport. Okay, well, cool. Off we go again.
Hold up a second there, Cutter. Because you've increased your rank, we're going to give you the next grade of ship. Now this one will be full of machinery, electronics, furniture, all stuff that Lynx can collect and resell. You're going to want to toss those items on the barge. That's the big green thing below you. Go ahead and have a look. Toss any valuable objects or components down there. And don't worry about breaking anything. There's a dampening field that'll catch everything. It works great.
That's cool.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Let's give it a go.
Okay, so cargo hatch goes into the barge instead, looks like. So let's pop that off. That was easier than I expected. Down we go. Engine nacelles also go into the barge. Which does make sense. Down we go. Antenna? How do we break that away? Oh, we literally just break it off.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Cool. Well, we're at 3 already out of the 5. Antenna base. Can that just come off? No. Do we have to, like, do this or something to it? Does it just go with the full thing? Maybe it just goes with that whole panel. Does make sense. Why is it showing me that square in particular? Is that meant to like grab it or something?
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Oh, another antenna here, in fact. Where did that go? Why did that go over there? Oh, it's now scrap. Oops. My bad. I must have hit it a bit too hard.
Material processed. Credits deposited.
Oh, we learn. So I guess we don't just throw things around willy-nilly then, especially if it's sensitive electronics. Just send that nacelle down there.
Nice work. Got that pretty quickly. Now let me teach you about
Access the kiosk. Okay, so we've got
Once
to go
the
back.
training wheels come off, Link's regulations mean you gotta cover your own oxygen and fuel costs. That's the way things go. Turning it on now. Now, no need to panic. They'll last you a good while. But if you end up running out, you gotta go top up at the kiosk over there. Let's have a look.
It's a long way back. It'd be nice if there was like a tether or something that you could use to get to the kiosk.
Good stuff, Cooter. Pretty easy, right? Alright, I'll leave you to it. We'll chat again when you hit the next rank. Leave her up.
Okay, so we don't actually need any of them just at the moment.
Have a nice day.
Well, let's just start ripping into this one, shall we? Well, there's some glass. I could always deal with that first, actually. Not sure the best way to do that, but we try and cut the whole length of it like this. Seems to have worked. Top of it, and the bottom of it. Can that just be pulled free now? No. What's holding it in there? Who the hell knows? Possibly something from the inside. Ah, it's not quite cut through here. Don't like the fact that it's kind of getting rid of some of the mass of it, but that's what it takes. There we go. Into the
Material
fence.
deposited.
There's some of the electronics and stuff here as well. So I guess we're meant to be careful with these. Maybe. Oops. Into the dampening field. Should be fine. Did it actually count? I guess it didn't say anything though. There was no like confirmation. Actually, if this is the cockpit, maybe we should leave that first. Yeah, we should try and remove the seats and stuff out the front or something first instead. You should be able to pull them out through the front. Cool.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied. Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
What else we got in here? A light. Sure. And another one. Storage bin.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
There we go.
Salvage
What else we got?
deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Another light. Full storage.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
I haven't quite figured out what all the bits actually mean on the HUD. Because it goes from red to green. Oh, that'll be the, like, how easy it is to move around, I guess.
Salvage deposit accepted.
There's more storage stuff all at the back there. It doesn't have like a component integrity thing as much.
Salvage secured.
Or it's just not as delicate, this stuff maybe. I guess this stuff just isn't as delicate.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
So all these furnace panels and stuff again, am I going to have to cut them away the same as I did last time, or can I get into the sides and actually release them somehow? Well, here's an easy way to get the storage boxes out.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied. Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred. Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Is that everything out of here now?
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Nope, a hard crate apparently. Cool.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
So it's a food pack. Interesting. Shouldn't this be something I could keep? Another airlock console. Heard the tick, so that's fine. Now, fabric. Interesting. Apparently it just goes into the furnace though, so who really cares? It's just
Deposit
panning.
accepted.
Let's clear away all the easy stuff first, shall we? Oops. That was not what I meant to do. Where did that bit go? There it is. Okay.
Material processed. Credits deposited.
Equipment mount. I can't just pull that off. Okay. It's all to go into the furnace though anyway. How do I get into the outside of it? I'm feeling a lot of this is kind of like a puzzle in some respects. So is that the bottom panel ejected now? Kind of? Is that moving away? That's a light that I should salvage. And that other light. Whoop. I do like the tractor kind of functionality of this. Okay, let's go underneath and pull that panel down if we can and get in from the bottom. Is that coming loose? Not really. Oh, there we go. Got it. Nice. Off you go. Fairly sure there's nothing on that though. I wanted to furnace instead. Okay. Ow.
Helmet damage detected. Always use Lynx branded repair kits to avoid
Salvage
invalidating
secured.
your warranty.
Credits deposited.
Okay, I guess we go back and fix our suit then.
Valuable object processed.
Oh, I do notice my fuel's still going down.
Welcome to Vendatron 9000. Thank you for your purchase. Have a nice day.
Okay. Probably didn't need to repair it immediately, but oh well. Mental note, don't pull things towards you too quickly. Should probably use my like tether pull functionality more. so that I'm not using fuel.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Pull the lights out.
Salvage deposit accepted.
Airlock.
Credits transferred.
Okay, I'm not sure how I'd get to that specifically. Titanium panel still in there solidly. Not for long though. Is this whole bottom bit gone? Basically just need to make sure that yeah, so structural is the bit underneath there, but that's fine because that's also for processor anyway. Yeah, so it's all for processing. Okay, I'll look over towards that one instead then. Cool. Nice big hole at the bottom now. Was fabric to come away?
Deposit accepted.
Probably just throw it in there attached to the panel that's behind it, to be honest, because it's an aluminium panel too. But whatever. I feel something like fabric should really go in the barge instead, or have a third type of something. Now, how do we free this airlock? Got to pull those panels away, I think. So that's the whole airlock still, yeah. So we need to somehow get in behind this and get the panel off the outside. Well, that'll get rid of the top, presumably. Kind of the right direction. Let's just pull that down a bit. There we go. That should get there.
Valuable object processed.
Oh,
Credits
that can also
deposited.
go into here. Cool. How can I free that whole thing? That's probably where we need to start doing some cutting. Oh, there's some lights though still. Let's get rid of those first of all. this whole thing off. Send that flying over there. Some more lights.
Processing valuable objects. Credits awarded.
Doors, apparently.
Rewards increasing.
Can I use this console? I can.
I see some potential fire hazards in there, so watch out, Cutter. Be
Yeah,
careful
no
not
kidding.
to cut or bump oxygen tanks, fuel tanks, or fuel lines. If there are flammable objects nearby, those flames can spread pretty quick like.
So how am I supposed to move this, like disconnect this? I mean, I should be able to just... Oh, what's this? Not something I can pick up, it seems. No. Why can I not pick this up? Can I just cut this, first of all? And underneath the fuel tank. So, has that freed up anything to be able to be dislodged? Yes. Good, we can open this whole thing up. Okay, let's take this light off first. But everything else can go in the processor, it seems. Including the antenna base from before. Okay, now we've got the fuel exposed. So, are we supposed to do something about disconnecting things properly? Is this something we're supposed to do? Also, I don't know how I'm supposed to actually pull the doors off. But I can kind of do this now. I mean, if let's just stay far back from this fuel tank. Let's just let that drift down slowly down to the barge. There we go. It didn't explode. That's good.
Credits transferred.
Fuel pipe and pipe junction, it seems I can't do anything else about right now. They're just part of this overall structure. No, that can just freely go into the furnace. Good. There's again this. No, that can't. Okay, never mind. We can now free this panel from in behind here, looks like. Cut point, yes. Good. And the other side. So does that let me move this? It does. But I want to remove the airlock. How can I do that? Ah, here we go. Yeah. Send that way. Pull this out. It's getting blocked. Down we go. Nice. Well done, me.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
This is all for the processor, isn't it? Looks like it. Oh, give that some encouragement. Okay, now, what's next? Structure aluminium. That can't be pulled away just as it is, it seems.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
Seems I can't pick up these little bits of pieces in here either. It's a bit of a shame. Okay, well. Time to start doing some cuts. Still not enough. Yeah, let's just finish taking the outside off first. Where's another light?
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Send that off that direction. Need some more fuel soon as well, actually, come to think of it.
Salvage deposit accepted.
This one's
Credit
loose for some
transferred.
reason. That's getting there really slowly.
Valuable object processed.
There's the nanocarbon. This is where we start getting all the aluminium panels within, unfortunately, inside the cockpit. But we can start working on that earlier than we did last time to try and actually get a bit of a head start on things. Equipment mount we can't pull off separately. How do we get in behind there is the next question. There's a hatch.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
Got the door control. Another fuel line. Let's do this one first, shall we? Give that a bit of a push. A bit more of a push. Okay, is that not going to come out, is it? Should. not. Okay, bit confused. Let's try this one instead. Is it because they're... oh, no, that's starting to come loose now, isn't it? There we go. Down we go.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Take the lights off. All of this is just stuff for the processor, isn't it? Yep. Send that one ahead. And send this one off behind it. They can sort each other out. So we go over here, wallop, and wallop. Okay. Let's open up this a bit more.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
Okay, activate the door console. Let's close that again. And rip the console off. Oops. That's not what I meant to do. Never mind. Meant to right click first.
Salvage secured.
Can't move that one, can't move that one. But this one's loose for some reason. Who knows why? It really is just no rhyme or reason to some of these things sometimes. Get the light out, fire that down there.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Pop. Ooh, that was getting close to being too hot. Let's move that away. Guide it over that direction a bit more.
Warning. Fuel levels are low.
Yeah, let's go deal with the
Fuel
fuel,
supplies
shall we?
are available for purchase at the master jack.
Send that on its way. And now we'll go back and get some more fuel, I guess. Though it takes a while to actually run down. So first, speaking of fuel, let's deal with this fuel tank in here first while I think of it.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited. Ship salvaged in full. Credits applied to cutter account.
And fire away. Well, that's interesting. That's freed up that, even though there's still a structure thing technically there. That's kind of weird. Off you go.
Material deposited.
All of this is now, I believe, for the processor. Send it that way. So you have to get fuel for your suit and stuff. I'm surprised you don't also have to recharge your tools. I was kind of expecting batteries and stuff that you needed to worry about. Kind of makes some sense. Some sort of consumable for the cutter.
Processing valuable objects. Credits awarded.
Okay, let's buy some more fuel, shall we?
Welcome to Vendatron 9000.
Fuel levels restored.
So it always fills you to full, I think, it seems. So you always want to leave it until late to come back, it seems. Could be risky, but... So we really need to start cutting up some of these panels from inside here, in the cockpit here, before it all starts floating away. Because there's that one strut holding it together there at the moment. So, what do we even have to do for this? I'm not going to be able to salvage these doors now, am I? Because I got rid of the control panel. The doors just magically disappear, it seems. Do I just cut this entire vertical piece here? Maybe. I think that might just be what I do. And then down the bottom here. Can't do anything with that. Can't do anything with that yet. There we go. That got it. Over to the furnace. Come on, this way. That way. There we go. That should do. Oh, yeah, there's the thruster cap.
Raw material processed. Credits deposited.
I'm surprised this isn't something that goes onto the barge instead of going into the processor. In we go.
Processing valuable objects. Credits awarded.
I feel I should be able to pull those panels just off, but there's this kind of surround structure there. That doesn't come off really either. How about we just do the same as I did on the other one? Or I could just obliterate that entire bit up the top instead, maybe. We can kind of just keep one of them, I guess. How do we just select that little one there? Did that get both? I think so. So there's just that little bit in behind here, maybe? Yeah. Is this loose? But that's still
Material
attached
deposited.
somehow? Except it kind of isn't. Ah, yeah, it's still attached over that side, I guess. What if we just do this? There we go. To the furnace. There we go. Right. Oh, there's another door console.
Deposit accepted.
Down to the barge. Processor furnace. That'll break it free though, and we don't really want to do that. So we can cut a small bit here. Just free this bit.
Raw material processed. Credits deposited.
Cool. Now we need to start working away in this cockpit here. How do we get rid of that panel, I wonder? Just need to get rid of that too, I think. But is that kind of extend above? No, not really. So we could just obliterate that whole bit, to be honest. Oh, let's just do that. And then this side, maybe. And then this side. Oh, I got that freed up. Unfortunately, I can't easily get it out of here. If we twist it sideways. There we go. Sort of. Maybe not. Maybe? No, it's getting caught. Almost. Nope. Done. It keeps trying to center it. That's really annoying. Well, you could always just cut it in half, I suppose. You need better ways to manipulate things in their shape. Just don't really want to have to cut it in half. I think maybe we just need to open up this side better.
Deposit accepted.
How do we do this? Open up that. And then I think we just open up this, get rid of that entirely. Maybe we do just destroy this now. whole thing still. Now we do this. Still one big thing though. There's the process a bit there. I wonder what these things are meant to indicate to me. Oh. I can just obliterate some of these bits. Does that help? I'm not sure that helps. It doesn't seem to really help. That's got that though.
Materials deposited.
This one. There. Great, this is now spinning, that's annoying. Okay, so I'm still left with the puzzle of how to free up everything else along here. Oops, no, not that one. Thank you very much. No, you, over here. You go that way.
Raw material processed. Credits deposited.
Keep spinning, goddammit. Yeah, still the whole thing. Oh, there's still a light in here as well, actually. Send that down there. Do we just cut that in half? How do we get this out? It's really annoying. How did we free that one up? Where did we cut for that? Do that and this perhaps. Slice this up. At least slice this one instead. That does want to do the whole thing, that's interesting. Still aren't really freeing up that though. Even though that's kind of pulling free. doesn't include the side bits for some reason. Just that little bit there. Again, it's not including the side bits for some reason. There we go, that's got this whole panel free. Off we go.
Deposit accepted.
Now maybe we could pull out that inside one. There we go. Off we go. Alright. So unfortunately we couldn't really do this while it was still attached because we had to get through all of that. But we can try not to waste too much of this aluminium. Basically have to slice it away entirely or something? Ah, good, that's freed it.
Material deposited.
I think I understand now. It's those bits along the sides that are kind of the structural bits. They don't really show as such, but there we go, that's got this one free. And fire. Ooh, is that going to go the wrong side? Kind of got there? Sort of. It's a bit stuck. There you go.
Raw material process. Credits.
Oh, there's a light still in here as well. Let's grab that. And fire!
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Airlock console, we can pull that off. Fire that down. There's another one there as well, which we're no longer needing. And fire that one down. Back to the cockpit though, let's finish this off before we get too distracted with other things. So, what do we need? We need to now do this bit along the bottom here. And that frees this one up. And fire. Game looks insane. How much is it? Like 20 bucks. It's 30% off at the moment, I think, on Steam sales as well. I've had it on my wishlist for a while, and yeah, seemed like a pretty good price for it. It's certainly pretty absorbing. You know, if you enjoy the gameplay loop that it presents, it's kind of like a bit of a puzzle game, really. Trying to find the right pieces to cut, the right bits to destroy. It's pretty fun. Wallop. And the soundtrack is repetitive, but not annoyingly so. Like, it's good music, so don't really notice it. And Power Wash Simulator wasn't an overpriced deal. It isn't. It's comparable to me. It's pretty comparable. Like, the gameplay loop on this is pretty elementary as well, right? I bought them both in the same transaction. Honestly, pretty comparable games in my mind. Looks much better visually and sound-wise. That's very subjective. It has music, which is a good start, which Power Wash doesn't. Which is one downside. But I mean, it's in space instead of in the suburbs, which I can imagine some people will prefer. But other than that, better? Dunno. Depends what you like. There will be many people who would prefer the Power Wash one more than this because they'd find this a bit too technical. So I wouldn't go just trying to tar them with that brush, quite frankly. Just seems to be a pretty needlessly picky thing. They're both good games and I think they're both pretty well priced. Also, as I say, this was 30% off, whereas Power Wash at the moment is only 15% off because it's newer, so you get bigger specials on games that have been out longer. Like, the amount of content that you have in both games is honestly insane for their prices respectively. Like, I would say that they are both very underpriced for what they deliver. And you can't compare games to other games when you're talking about value for money either, because especially when a game has been out for ages. Euro Truck Simulator is also like a $20 game, right? And that has a huge amount of content to it. But it also comes down to how much volume that they're expecting to sell. You can make a game cheaper even though it's very involved if you're expecting to appeal to a wider market.
Deposit accepted.
Procedurally generated. I don't know what you're meaning by procedurally generated, but what is? Procedurally generated is just a really good way for a developer if they can justify the things you wash or take apart. Well, no, the things you wash in Power Wash are not procedurally generated. The things you take apart in this are probably, yeah. And I mean, if you can justify that, if you can figure out a way to make that work, then that's great, because that means that you are able to make your content more replayable without putting more effort into it. Whereas with Power Wash, as I understand it, those are individually crafted levels. So again, you can't compare one to the other. You know, it's the amount of effort that goes into actually curating an environment versus just letting, you know, well, you've got a curated environment, but you've got a single environment, and then you've got a small random bit in the middle. You know, so they've got a really good idea for this game. Power Wash set number of maps. Yes, of course it does. Because again, they are individually crafted rather than procedurally generated, because that would be an absolute mess. That would not work for that system. If you want to hate on the game, feel free, but you know, as far as I'm concerned, it just comes across as being very entitled. Oh no. This quite cheap, very absorbing game doesn't have as much content as I demand. Oh no, what a shame. You know what? Become a game dev and do it differently yourself. Then you might appreciate the amount of effort that goes into it. Yeah, by that metric, Subnautica is overpriced, even though it's only like $30, because it doesn't have a procedurally generated map. It's not different every time. It's just a crafted environment instead. A lot of it is full of a lot of dead space, quite frankly, but yeah, it's just like Power Wash you can't compare to this. You can compare it to House Flipper, because it's very similar in that. It focuses on a single element instead of trying to present a gamut of different elements. But my problem with House Flipper was that a lot of those elements actually felt quite cheap. Like, they weren't very well fleshed out, and honestly, not having them would not have been a bad thing. Whereas Power Wash Simulator focuses on an aspect of it, fleshes it out, and delivers a lot more for that experience. Same as what this does. Like, this could be a lot more technical, you could have a lot more different tools and everything, but in order to do that, you would have to dilute a lot of the gameplay. And I think that would hurt it more than it would help it. So we want to get rid of that bit in the middle there, I think. Then there's these bits on the side. I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to games in general, I'm just happy if I get like $10 an hour value out of it. Hey Razor, welcome back. Time flies indeed. Especially when you're busy. Been a lot going on the last few weeks. Hope you're doing well. Whee. I do like the lazy physics in this game because it's in space.
Credits deposited.
Probably not completely accurate, but yeah, it's been busy. Yeah, I feel you, man. Zoink. You think a good thing to compare game prices to are amusement park tickets? See, there, I don't give a shit about amusement parks, so I don't do that. But yeah, it comes down to an alternative form of entertainment. I compare them more to movies. Like, it costs a good... I don't know, I can't even remember. I actually don't know how much it costs to go to the movies these days. But especially if you include like popcorn and stuff, but even if you don't, like a single ticket is probably like $16 or something. Maybe more? Probably more. I don't even know. But it's like that for a movie that's often like an hour and a half. You know, 90 minutes is a reasonable length of movie, I think, for a lot of films. So if you're paying that amount for that amount, so it's like, what's an equivalent? It's like when Tori was saying about how she was a bit disappointed by there was only like 17 power wash levels, but it had taken her 20 hours to get through it. And you could put a lot more time into that game depending on how you choose to play it. And then I think of like Abzu, for example. It's not a cheap game, it's like 24 New Zealand dollars. I've got like 8 hours against it though, so that makes it worth it for me. It's a really short game though, it must be said, but it's also really pleasurable. So if I get like 3 hours out of a $20 game, if I enjoy that time, worth it. I'm trying to figure out how to get this door free. Do I do like this? I think I probably do, just like cut around the edges of it. Also in this, like you were saying, procedurally generated, they're not quite. I mean, there's specific designs of ship, and then it's like within that there is some procedural generation. In terms of the hazards and stuff that are presented, I believe. Oh, good, there's one door. Yoink. Processor. Wallop. I mean, one of the most satisfying things about this game so far is just like the propulsion cannon-esque send objects flying into the correct receptacle. That's super fun. Oops, I didn't mean to cut through that one, but we spoiled. Yeah, games are really underpriced for the values you can get out of them. I perfectly agree, and that's the thing. So I think it's just... There are a lot of very cheap games that honestly have been underpriced, that are often from developers who already have a lot of money made out of other games, or they intend to get more money out of other monetization methods. Or they're just trying to get their name out there, so they're just severely undercutting what the game is really worth. But then people go and compare other games to those games, and that's just not fair. Like, each game should be assessed on its own merits, in my opinion. Like, is the game pleasurable? Does it deliver a good, enjoyable experience? Does it have enough content for the amount that they are requesting from it? We need to, whoops, wrong one, these things come off, I think. Poof. Poof. And the work that goes into them, even AAA titles, are way underpriced when you look at everything involved. A lot of the time, yeah. Basically, they are priced around the idea that they are going to sell a large volume. And over time are going to have like paid DLC and stuff like that that are going to reuse a lot of the same assets, and therefore, you know, there's a certain amount of reusability that they can get out of that. Like, I'm not a fan of paying $100 for any game, quite frankly. I will usually wait until they go on special, but if I was really wanting to play something when it was new, then I would. I have paid full price for games in the past because I felt that they were going to be worth it. Like, Deus Ex Mankind Divided is one of the few games that I actually pre-ordered and played on launch. I needed to buy a new graphics card so I could play it properly, but that aside. And it did not disappoint, because sure, it had some shortcomings compared to the previous one in terms of storyline and stuff. That's subjective. But I've got like 100 hours in the game, so I'd say it's paid off. How do I disconnect that from that? Wait, is this whole thing good for the furnace? I keep seeing processor, but I think that... that's the thing that was in behind, eh? It's not actually this. Yeah, this whole thing can just go in the furnace. Okay. You're coming with me. I mean, people will spend hundreds of dollars on, like, figurines and stuff that technically have no... like follow-on entertainment value. They're just trinkets. They just sit there looking subjectively pretty. Paying $100 for a computer game that you're getting hours and hours and hours and hours, dozens, sometimes hundreds of hours of entertainment out of, that's pretty good. I'm not sure I even need to take this part off, because this whole thing, I think, is able to just go into the processor. But due diligence. Also, it's fun to watch this thing fly off. Boing.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
So is there anything in this... It shows up as engine. Yes, it is, but what do I do with it? It's just the cavity. It's been removed. There's nothing for the furnace here. This is all processor, processor, processor. Processor, processor. There's all these little random bits and pieces are also for the processor, it seems. Yep. Oh, these are door chunks. That one's for aluminium. Processor. Cool. It's probably going to be easier to send it that way, isn't it? Rather than trying to spin it around. Oh, my fuel is really low. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, this is the last thing I have to do in this game, or in this level, so I think we just send this off. If we can. 425 kilos, this is a chunky boy. Let's get some momentum going, come on. This way. That should do it. Anything else floating in here? Any more debris that I should be aware of? I think we got everything. That big engine compartment will probably fill up most of the rest of the bar at the top.
Processing
Yep.
valuable objects.
And there's a few things that I lost because, you know, you can only do so much. And instead of filling up for fuel here, we'll just finish the mission. End shift? Yeah. I wonder how long the shifts are actually meant to be. I don't actually know how I'm doing against some of the stuff. So the equipment mounts were apparently destroyed? I wasn't sure how I could even remove those. There was some doors that were destroyed, but I salvaged some of them. Yeah, door 40 kilos, 1829. Door destroyed 13 kilos, so it's negligible. Aluminium panel, 20 kilos of that versus panel aluminium, 3,125 kilos. Yes, so that doesn't even, like the thruster cap alone got more than all of that aluminium. Damn. Salvaging the airlock as well. Good payoff there. Those door consoles pay off really well. The reusable things really do pay off really well. And then it's all the nanocarbon otherwise. Yeah, big panels. Yeah, it's mostly the processor stuff that really adds up. Got those storage bins paid off a lot. Damn. And the airlock consoles? I destroyed one of those, that's a shame. Oh no, it was a door console I think I destroyed. Either way. So I'm not too worried about the things that I destroyed. Oh, antenna. Yeah, I destroyed an antenna and that was 18 grand just in itself, but the nacelles were good to salvage though. Sweet. Well, plus 1.7 million. That's pretty good. Not quite enough to go up another rank though. Oh, here's our payment. Fees total. Interest, of course, bay lease, salvage transport, cutting tool rental, grapple tool rental, HAB rent, utilities, helmet rental, scanner rental, suit rental, thruster rental. 524,000 credits off our salvage income of 1,700 plus 1.7 million. I mean, we're chipping away at it. New sticker unlocked today. Oh, for completing the tutorial. Okay, so that was the last tutorial mission. I don't know when we unlock equipment. Tether module, I guess that would be the first piece of equipment that we would be unlocking. And then some range upgrades and stuff. Oh, we're getting there. Other stickers. Okay, I'm gonna actually move that sticker if I can, because safety third. Brilliant. Place sticker. We're gonna place that there. And then this one, we can remove that because that's over the temperature gauge. That's actually a really bad place to put a sticker. We could put that there instead. There we go. Cool. Any more messages? Nothing new. Nope. Okay. Well, that was a bit of a longer mission. Well, I'm not going to continue doing all of this on stream and recordings and stuff, but I did want to stream at least discovering the game, experiencing it for the first time, learning a bit about how to do things. We might revisit it some other time once I've leveled up and have a lot more gear, and maybe when I'm doing it properly, like with shift times and oxygen and everything, instead of just in the kind of the creative mode. But yeah, we'll see how we go.